The story begins on a mysterious island in the middle of the ocean. There, we saw a huge stadium packed with people. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the staff standing right in front. Then, on the staff's signal, a giant 3-meter-long shark was slowly pulled up as bait. That's when the boy sitting there realized that something big was about to happen. He immediately told his older brother to look, and just as his brother lifted his head to see, a massive creature suddenly emerged from the water. Right at that moment, the viewing platform, suddenly it started slowly descending underground. Actually, an even more dangerous show was waiting for them there. As the platform reached the bottom, the huge creature came into clear view right in front of them, which made everyone even more excited. Then, amidst loud applause, the big creature, called Mosasaurus, swallowed a shark whole in one swift move. You see, in the future, a tech company used gene technology to bring dinosaurs back to life, and to make money, they bought an entire island. Then, all the dinosaurs were kept on that same island, and the place was turned into Jurassic World Park. Because of the dinosaurs, the island quickly became the biggest tourist spot in the world. Every year, millions of people came here to spend their holidays. But after 20 years of everything running smoothly, the dinosaurs became more like zoo animals to people, like elephants that everyone is used to. So people lost interest in them. To stop falling profits and rising costs, Dr. Wu and his team started creating different kinds of animals. They combined genes to create a new monster dinosaur named Indominus Rex, a super straightforward and scary name. It was made to boost people's interest, but no one had any idea that this dinosaur would end up being the biggest headache for the entire park. Around that time, the park owner came to check out the Indominus Rex and realized that the dinosaur was much bigger and way smarter than expected. It had already tried breaking the glass and escaping multiple times. Seeing how dangerous it was, the owner got worried and called for a security check. They called in retired Navy trainer Owen. Actually, Owen used to work in the Navy, and after retiring, he was given the responsibility to train the dinosaurs here. At that time, he was working in the raptor area, where he was trying to control the raptors using his experience he had gained from Navy training. And surprisingly, he was able to control those dangerous raptors. But then, an accident happened when the new feeder was trying to catch a small pig. At that moment, one of the raptors lunged at him right inside the zoo. He pulled him inside, and the next moment, all the raptor's attention was locked onto that employee. Things got so tense that the guy could have become their prey any second. Right at that critical moment, Owen quickly opened Z's gate, rushed inside, stood in front of the new employee, and kept ordering the raptors to back off. After a lot of effort, Owen and his team managed to pull the employee out safely. But just then, the raptors crouched down, getting into attack position, and Owen realized his life was in serious danger. He was in danger, so on one hand, he kept giving commands, and on the other, he slowly backed away. And just as the gate was about to close, he suddenly rolled out at the perfect moment and managed to get out, saving his life. After that, Claire took Owen over to the Indominus Rex and explained that it was a secret hybrid made using T-Rex genes and had grown up isolated since it was a kid. Hearing this, Owen warned that the loneliness could make it dangerous, so he immediately told them to show the dinosaur. But surprisingly, even after putting food in, Indominus was nowhere to be seen, which made everyone really anxious. The weirdest part was that the monitoring system couldn't pick up any heat signals, like the giant monster had just vanished into thin air. Then Owen's eyes landed on the huge claw marks on the wall, and they figured maybe Indominus had broken through the wall and slipped outside. Hearing that, Claire's face went pale. She immediately decided to head back to the control center and warned the team to stay alert on the way, keeping an eye on Indominus's movements. The location was shifted. They were told to track it immediately. Meanwhile, inside the park, Owen and the guard went over to the wall to figure out how Indominus got out. But right then, a scary message came from the control center. The location chip was still showing that Indominus was inside. Hearing this, everyone freaked out, because at that moment, the three of them were still closely examining those claw marks. The control room staff immediately called the guard and told him to get out of there quickly. As soon as Owen heard that, he immediately turned around and started sprinting towards the inner gate. But right then, the last guard saw Indominus moving exactly in the direction Owen was running. In all the chaos, suddenly the dinosaur attacked one of the guards. Panicking, another guard quickly reached the gate near the wall and opened it right away. When he saw his companion had been taken down by Indominus, he freaked out and without thinking twice ran straight out through the gate. Meanwhile, Owen kept running with all his might and just managed to get outside right before the gate slammed shut. It's done. But Indominus took advantage of a small crack in the gate, slammed into it with full force, broke the entire gate, and came out.
In that dangerous moment, Owen quickly slid to the ground and hid under a car, then immediately turned around to keep a close eye on every move of the dinosaur. The sound of its heady footsteps told him that Indominus was now heading towards the guard. The guard hiding behind the car was so scared that he could barely breathe. Right then, Indominus appeared like a monster and the guard got swallowed whole in an instant. To save his own life, Owen quickly cut open the car's fuel tank and let the petrol spill out so the smell would confuse the Indominus, keeping it from sniffing him out. And sure enough, after just a little while, the Indominus didn't sense his presence anymore and let out a loud roar before suddenly leaving the area. But now, the dangerous dinosaur was loose, out of human captivity. This made everyone in the control room panic. It was then that they found out the Indominus was about 5,000 meters away. He's heading towards the visitor area, where about 20,000 people are gathered. As soon as Clara heard this, she got ready to sound the alarm there. But just then, the owner standing nearby stopped her immediately. Because once the warning goes out, the whole park has to shut down, and security would be questioned, which could lead to the park being closed. So the owner trusted that the security team would handle the dinosaur. Meanwhile, the soldiers' team had already reached the spot where the tracking chip was showing Indominus's location. But even after reaching there, they couldn't spot the Indominus anywhere. Then the team leader noticed the tracker on the ground had been ripped off the Indominus's body. Suddenly, some drops of blood mysteriously started falling onto his hand. Seeing this, everyone looked up in fear, and what they saw left them all stunned. Actually, the Indominus had used the chameleon's genes to completely blend into the surroundings. Just as the team leader was about to run, the Indominus grabbed him. The rest, all the guards immediately raised their stun guns and started firing at it. But in the next moment, Indominus crushed the team leader to death with its massive foot. The rest of the guards stepped forward to stop it and kept firing electric shots continuously. But Indominus ruthlessly took down each one of them, and in less than a minute, several people lost their lives. As soon as the news reached Owen, he angrily warned Claire that Indominus is a monster even it doesn't fully understand itself, and if it gets out of the jungle, he'll go after every living thing. He'll start killing because that's the only way he can survive. So, to stop him, real weapons will have to be used. But Clara didn't want to see the park she built with so much hard work turn into a battlefield. That's why she ignored Owen's advice. Hearing this, Owen got angry and stormed out of the control room. Yet, for the safety of over 20,000 people in the park, Clara finally sounded the alarm throughout the entire park. Just then, the two brothers were heading to enjoy one of the park's projects, and as their tour car started, right then the staff got a warning about the danger, so they immediately stopped all the other tour cars. But strangely, the brothers' car didn't stop and kept moving slowly deeper into the park. In that area, all kinds of herbivorous dinosaurs were roaming around freely, like the three-horned Triceratops, the big plated Stegosaurus, and the long-necked Brachiosaurus. All these dinosaurs were pretty calm. Then suddenly a warning sounded inside the tour car, saying that there was a problem in the system. There's a glitch, and the ride is now automatically heading back to the hotel. But the older brother didn't want to go back. On top of that, both of them were nephews of Clara, the park's operations manager. So they had special wristbands with exclusive access. That's how he took control of the system and with his younger brother moved deeper into the park. Meanwhile, Clara suddenly remembered her nephews. She immediately called her older nephew, but right then the network went down. Panicked, she asked the staff if all the tour cars were back. After checking, it turned out that only one tour bus hadn't returned, and that bus had both her nephews on it. Hearing this, Clara freaked out and immediately told the rescue team to go there. But the rescue team was already busy, so she had no choice but to go to Owen and ask for help. Meanwhile, the two brothers had reached the far end of the park's tour area, and that's when they noticed the fence ahead had been broken by something really strong. When they saw a way forward, the older brother started the car. He took them inside right away. After a while, they reached a dense forest area where several ankylosaurs were roaming around, and at first glance they only spotted 4, but the younger brother insisted there were 5. So the older brother counted carefully again. That's when they realized that the shadow they saw in the car window wasn't a 5th dinosaur after all, but the Indominus Rex standing silently right behind them. It let out a powerful roar and kicked the car hard, shaking both brothers and the car. They were feet away. Just as the big brother was about to make a panicked, failed attempt, the heavy tail of an ankylosaurus smashed into the car, flipping it and sending it flying. The Indominus Rex thought the ankylosaurus was trying to steal its prey, so it immediately attacked, and an intense fight broke out between them. When it tried to bite the ankylosaurus, its strong armor caused the teeth to suddenly loosen. Furious, it slashed deep into the ankylosaurus' back with its sharp claws and finally flipped it over, killing it in one swift move. Seeing all this, the two brothers started shaking with fear, and right then Clara's phone rang again. As soon as Indominus heard the phone ringing, it suddenly remembered the prey inside the car. After staring at it for a bit, it grabbed the car with its claws. Then it opened its huge mouth wide, trying to swallow it whole, but when that didn't work, it got clever. It clamped its teeth on the car and started banging it hard on the ground. Just as the glass was about to shatter, the older brother saw his chance and quickly unbuckled his seatbelt. He grabbed his little brother and got out of the car. But Indominus's sharp eyes didn't miss their move, and it immediately started chasing them. Luckily, there was a small waterfall right ahead. As Indominus got closer, it opened its huge mouth. Just in time, the two brothers jumped into the waterfall and escaped its grasp. At that moment, Claire also arrived in the jungle, but she quickly realized that things had completely changed here. Dinosaur carcasses killed by Indominus were scattered all around. Seeing this made Owen even more. She was sure by now that the Indominus wasn't going to leave anything alive. After a while, they found the tour car where the two brothers had been sitting. But when Clara saw the broken car and a phone lying on the ground, she feared the boys had been eaten by the Indominus. The thought completely shattered her. Just then, Owen noticed footprints in the dirt leading towards the waterfall. When they got there, he guessed the boys were still alive and had probably escaped from there. Hearing this, Clara felt a bit relieved, but right then, Control, the staff sitting in the room, found out something even more dangerous. Because of the park's alarm, over 20,000 people had gathered in the resort area, and Indominus was quickly heading towards the same resort for hunting more prey. It was clear that a huge disaster was about to happen. Left with no choice, the park owner finally decided that heavy weapons would have to be used. But due to a shortage of staff, the owner had to fly the helicopter himself with the heavy weapons to hunt down Indominus. He set off. As soon as the team spotted the Indominus, they didn't waste a second and started firing right away. The heavy gunfire forced the Indominus Rex straight into the flying dinosaurs' territory. That's when 50-inch and 100-inch flying dinosaurs started running all over the place, causing chaos all over the island. Suddenly, one of the soldiers shooting got dragged out by a flying dino, while another got killed after crashing into one of the dinosaurs' glass barriers. Meanwhile, the helicopter started losing control and slowly began to fall, and our wealthy character, Irfan Khan, they lost their lives. Suddenly, all the flying dinosaurs appeared right in front of them. Seeing them coming closer, Owen immediately teamed up with Claire, and they started running towards the forest. Meanwhile, the two brothers were trying to get out of the forest using an abandoned car, but the younger brother noticed the winged dinosaurs chasing after them. Sensing the danger, he quickly told the older brother to drive the car fast. Finally, they reached the park's entry gate, where the staff spotted them. After getting a message from their nephew, Owen and Claire also came out of the forest. They came out, and spotting a car, they decided to meet at the resort. Meanwhile, all the rides in the park were immediately shut down, and all the visitors were forced to stay put at the resort. Then, an emergency announcement came over the public broadcast, telling everyone to hide right away. At first, people didn't understand what was going on, but as soon as they saw winged dinosaurs flying in the sky, everything clicked. Panicked, everyone started running around, but the winged dinosaurs were so fast that they quickly reached the people, and the attack had begun. Screams echoed all over the park. Meanwhile, the two brothers reached the resort and bumped into Clara's assistant, but unfortunately, just as the assistant was about to take them away, a winged dinosaur grabbed her and threw her into the lake. What the dinosaur didn't know was that this was Mosasaurus territory, and unknowingly they all got into the water and kept attacking the woman non-stop. The two brothers were completely terrified watching all this. Just as the winged dinosaur tried to take off, the mosasaurus suddenly opened its mouth. The dinosaur came out of the water and swallowed the girl whole. Seeing this, the two brothers panicked and started looking for a place to hide to save themselves. But just then, the security team arrived at the scene and fired tranquilizer guns, forcing the winged dinosaurs to retreat for a while. This gave the resort area a bit of a break.
But things were about to get worse. As soon as the military officer arrived, he took full control and, at the first opportunity, started his real plan. In reality, they wanted to use the raptors to hunt that dangerous dinosaur to prove that these raptors could be turned into weapons for the military. When Owen found out, he rushed there and punched the officer hard out of anger, because he had raised those raptors since they were babies and didn't want to throw them into a dangerous mission. But now, with 20,000 people in the park at risk, after a lot of thinking, Owen finally had no choice but to agree to the mission. They decided to play a sort of hide-and-seek game to catch the Indominus Rex. The plan was that first, the raptors would use their sharp sense of smell to track down the Indominus, and the army would follow behind them, waiting for the right moment to strike with heavy weapons. Meanwhile, Clara was worried the two brothers might run off again, so she had them sit inside a secure control train and took the front seat herself to monitor the entire operation. Once everything was ready, Owen cut a piece of the Indominus's meat and then fed it to the raptors. He let the raptors sniff around, and when all the raptors were ready, Owen finally opened their cages. Then the soldiers, armed with weapons, started moving into the jungle right behind them. The whole group followed the raptors, moving quickly through the dense forest, until suddenly the raptors stopped in a deserted spot. All the soldiers immediately went on high alert, pointing their weapons ahead. But little did they know, something really strange was about to happen next. In this tense moment, suddenly a massive creature started slowly emerging from the jungle. It started coming out, and before anyone knew it, the Indominus Rex was standing right in front of everyone. Owen's plan was for the trained raptors to attack this dinosaur, but surprisingly, the dinos on both sides suddenly started glaring at each other, like they were having some weird conversation. The raptors didn't attack immediately. Instead, they made the Indominus aware of the humans' presence. Seeing this, Owen sensed something was off. He suddenly realized that maybe the Indominus had raptor DNA in its body. He was somehow able to communicate with the raptors because they were connected. The officer sitting in the control room panicked when he saw this. He immediately ordered all the soldiers to open fire. That's when things completely fell apart, because the very plan to take down the Indominus ended up turning the raptors against the humans. But when the soldiers saw the dinosaurs running towards the forest, they chased after them. Within minutes, almost the entire team was wiped out in the raptor attack, and seeing all this, Clara got seriously freaked out. Right then, a soldier came running from the front, barely escaping the raptors. Just as he was about to get into the car, a raptor attacked him from behind. Seeing this, the two brothers inside the car panicked. Things were getting worse, so Clara quickly started the car and sped off. But then, another raptor suddenly came charging toward them from the other side. The car door was open, and the raptor could reach them any second. Panicking, they grabbed some nearby containers and threw them outside the car. Music. They started so they could block the raptor's path, but the raptor easily dodged them and kept chasing the car. Music. Clara saw in the glass that the raptor was getting closer fast, so she suddenly slammed the steering wheel and hit the raptor hard with the car, knocking it down. But at that moment, another raptor came up right next to the two brothers from the other side. Music. Panicked, they both struck it with electric sticks. Just then, Owen arrived there too. Everyone quickly headed to the control room. They set off. Meanwhile, the officer in the control room, seeing that the operation had completely failed, didn't get angry. Instead, he got even happier and went straight to the lab. But when Owen and the others arrived at the lab, they were shocked to find that all the staff had already fled by helicopter. It was then that they discovered the real secret of the Indominus's genes in the doctor's private office. Turns out, this monster was made up of genes of dozens of different creatures. Once the truth came out, the officer came out too and clearly explained that all of this, that was the whole plan with the music. And that's why such a dangerous creature was created. But before he could complete his music talk, a pack of raptors suddenly showed up there, and the next moment, one raptor music